Hi, and welcome to this video on how to change from being an employee to being a business owner. Now, look, when you are planning on starting your own business, there's obviously going to be a lot of change in your life, and people can find it very difficult to adjust from being an employee to actually being a business owner. So what we thought that we'd do is that we'd put our top 10 tips together to help you adjust, just to make your life a little bit easier. Now, my name is Ray Lavery, and I'm the co-founder of How to Start a Business with my business partner, Helen Roberts, and together we have helped over 15,000 people start and grow their own business. So let's get on and have a look at our top 10 tips. Now, these tips, by the way, are not in any particular order. This is just the order I thought of them when putting them down. So tip number one is you need to learn to experience life as a business owner. So there's a big difference between being an employee to actually being a business owner. The environment is very different, and the way you do things is very, very different. And so for some people who are adjusting to this, it can be either a good experience or it can be a very challenging experience based on your previous experience from whatever you've been doing beforehand. So what we say to people is that if you can, which of course is not always possible if you've been made redundant or things have just happened, but if you can, we say just to dip your toe in the water. And that means if you can do it part-time at the beginning, if you can start to sort of get your feel for being a business owner, then it is going to be an easier adjustment for you. It's going to be a lot calmer. And also, because you also have limited time, because you're still doing another job, you tend to be very focused on what it is that you do, and you tend to get through more. So being a business owner can, like I said, have its challenges. And if you can dip your toe in the water and just get a feel for what it's actually like, then you'll know very quickly whether this type of thing will actually suit you, and whether you also feel that you're ready to do that, because some people are ready and some people, it just takes them a little bit of time. So if you can, get a feel for that, get a feel for the environment. So that's tip number one. Again, if you can actually do that. So tip number two, this is to remember that resources are limited. And by the way, everybody always thinks that money is their most limited resource, but it's actually not. Time is your most limited resource. And the reason being is there's literally only 24 hours in the day, and there's other things that you have to do in your day as well. But at the beginning, you probably won't have a lot of cash, or maybe you do, but maybe you don't have enough cash to hire an assistant, which means that you're going to be doing everything yourself. So as an employee, it's quite likely that you came from a team where you had somebody doing the marketing for you, somebody who was able to prep, client reports for you, somebody who was able to do shipping, someone who was able to do the finances, things like that. So you didn't have to worry about that on your day-to-day. But as a business owner, particularly at the beginning, it's highly likely that you are going to be doing these things yourself. And that means your time is going to be very, very limited. And you need to be very, very clear about how it is that you're spending your time, because it's very easy to waste your time on things that are not actually important. So just to remember that those resources are limited. And at the beginning, people don't think it's a big idea or a big deal, but actually it can really be quite tough at the beginning, because you have to do so much more with your time. So be very, very precise in how it is that you spend your time, and you'll find that you're able to grow quite quickly. So tip number three. So this is about you remembering why it is that you're doing what you're doing. So when you start your business, you have an idea in your head as to what it is that you want to achieve. Maybe there's an end goal in the business, so you want to change something, maybe something environmental, so you have an actual end goal in mind. Or maybe it's just that you are doing this because you want to improve your life. So that might be that you want to, put a deposit down on a house. You want to maybe buy a second house. You want to send your children to a better school, whatever it is for you. So the thing about it is that when you're starting your business, you start to lose track of why it is that you're actually doing what you're doing. And so it's very important that you keep those goals out in front of you, that you remember why it is that you set up your business, and you keep them visually in front of them. So like write them down and put them on, their wall in front of you as to where it is that you're working. Because when things get challenging, and they will get challenging, and when there's problems for you to solve, and maybe you're tired or whatever the case may be, then by looking at these goals, it'll help to motivate you and keep you going towards where it is that you're going to be going. Because determination is one of the key factors of being a business owner. But if you have those goals and what it is that you're looking to achieve in front of you, then it's far, far easier for you to stay motivated. So there you are. That's tip number three. Tip number four. All right, so this one here might sound obvious, but a lot of people don't actually do this, and that is to set times when you're at work and times when you're not at work. It's so important that you rest. And the thing is because again, you're doing everything on your own, you're going to feel that you have to work all the time, but that is actually a bad thing to do. You need to rest. If you are not fresh, you won't be able to think, and it'll actually slow the whole thing down for you. If you are rested, then you'll get things done much, much faster. You'll be much more productive, but you must be strict with yourself, and that means that when it is time to stop working, you stop working. Remember that you have the rest of your life to live as well, and it can't just be about, living to work. Your whole point of doing all of this is working to live, and hopefully it's fun rather than working. So make sure that you set those times and you stick to those times. And I'm not saying like you only give yourself an hour to do your business a day, unless you've actually managed to get things down to that level. And if you have, fantastic, go to a beach and enjoy yourself. But just at the beginning, like I said, make sure that you give yourself time to rest. Believe you me, you will move much, much faster in your business if you are rested. Okay, number 5. Now, this is about you setting goals and having a basic plan, not a mad complicated plan, because that's not usable, but a basic plan with short-term goals and midterm goals, and you are aware of them. And then what you need to do is you need to actually set yourself deadlines. Now, as an employee, you have a boss who has a meeting with you probably once a week, and they're checking off things that you were supposed to do. And the thing is when you are your own business owner, you don't have that anymore. And what that basically means is that sort of a deadline mentality starts to slip. So it's very important that you don't let this slip, because I see people who are sort of like a month down the line, 6 weeks. And in fact, sometimes I see people who are 6 months down the line and they still haven't got some basic things done because they're getting sidetracked by other things. And so you can't allow this to happen, because you have to be focused. You have to keep going on what is actually critical to bringing in the cash and to bringing in the clients. And that requires focus. And when you don't have a boss telling you what to do, it can be quite easy for people to lose that focus. So it's important that you give yourself a time every single week where you sit down and you check off what it is that you've actually done, and you see that you're moving towards your goals, and also to celebrate that, because you go, yay, I've got that done, and you feel good about the world, and you feel that you're making progress. So it's very, very important. So make sure that you do that, because like I said, people who don't, they get unfocused, and it takes them a very long time to get anything done, and that makes them fall behind. It means that they lose cash, and it means that their business and their life as being a business owner becomes very, very difficult. So stay disciplined with yourself, stay focused, and set those goals, set deadlines, and get them done. I can't stress enough how important that actually is. So tip number 6. Now, this is about starting to think like a business owner. So when you're actually an employee, you pretty much have a team around you, and they help you to solve the problems that you have. You can talk to them, but also when you are tired, and there will definitely be times that you are tired, it's going to be difficult for you to think, and you're going to think, oh my God, this challenge that I'm facing, I can't solve it. So we need to shift that idea around, and so we need to go from I can't do this to how can I do this? And just by asking that question in a different way, it changes your perspective, and you start to see new opportunities to be able to solve that challenge. And because people can't see it from your point of view, you need to be the one looking out from that. Now, all of that said, because I'm going to swap into tip number 7 now, is that it's very important that you find somebody that you can talk to about your business. Now, ideally, this is somebody who has a business, or who has had a business, or a consultant who understands business, because your family members, I'm afraid, won't understand it from your point of view, and they can't help you as much as you actually probably need. But if you're talking with somebody else who knows what it's like to be sitting, if you like, in that big proverbial chair, then you're going to have a different perspective, and from somebody who knows what it's actually like. So most people out there will say that one of the toughest things is feeling like they are actually alone and nobody understands what it is they're going through. So it is so important that you have a mentor and you have a group of people who are also business owners who can share what it is that you're going through, because I can guarantee you, once you do that, you'll start to hear them go, oh my God, it's the same for me. That's what it's like for me. You must have that support. You must be able to bounce ideas off other people who are sitting in your similar shoes, because everybody thinks that they're doing this alone. Now, in the UK, at any one time, there are at least 600,000 people who are starting and growing their own business. That is the general statistic, and it's been that way for several years. And it's going to increase now because of the current climate that we are in. So there are plenty of people out there. So reach out on Facebook, reach out on LinkedIn, get a group of people together where you can actually talk with them about what it is that you're going through, and they will help you solve those challenges that I was just talking about, in tip number 6. So that's tip number 6, and tip number 7 is think like a business owner, and also have somebody that you can talk to about your business. Tip number 8. Now, this is about your personal finances. I can't stress how important this is. Now, it may not be possible if life just happens to you, but if you can, make sure that you have at least 6 months of finances available to you for your personal finances. This is things like your rent, obviously mortgage, food, whatever bills that you have, and a little bit of playtime as well. So do your best to have that, because what happens in your business is at the beginning, you have to plow all the money back into your business. You won't really be able to take an awful lot out. And so you don't want the stress of worrying about paying your bills. You don't want that stress. It's going to make your life an awful lot harder. So if you can, have at least 6 months of finances available so that you can just work for those 6 months. And if you work diligently, you follow your deadlines and all the other tips that we gave you so far today, then you're going to be able to start taking money out at that point. But don't put your business under pressure. In order to grow your business, you have to put the money back in order to be able to market, maybe to hire other staff and things like that. That is just a fact of life for a startup. So to relieve yourself of that stress, make sure that you have those finances or have availability to those types of finances. And by the way, that you're not just running up massive credit card bills, because the interest rate on those are absolutely horrendous. So please try and have that cash in your bank account if you can, or find funding elsewhere that is not the same, I suppose, percentage that a credit card will take from you. Now, I already mentioned this as well, but when preparing your finances, also make sure that you, I suppose, get time for your own exercise. We talked about this earlier, but make sure that you are time for exercise and that you are eating well. I can't stress how important that actually is. And if you are sleeping well, getting rest, and if you are exercising and you're eating well, then you're going to be fit and healthy, and you're going to be able to handle whatever challenges that come your way. So again, it's all kind of tied into your personal finances, because people often say, oh well, I won't go out, or I'll just eat noodles for the next 6 months. That's going to make you very sick. So make sure that you don't do that, and you take care of yourself, because you need to be fit and healthy in order to do well. But really, the point of this particular tip is to make sure that you have enough finances so that you are stress-free for at least the first 6 months. So that is tip number 8. Tip number 9. Now, this is about when you are actually picking your business idea. So make sure that when you pick your business idea, you pick something that is fun. Pick something that follows your actual passions. Don't just follow the money. If you think, oh, well, I'll set up an accountancy practice because, accountants make lots of money, but you hate accountancy and finance, then that's just going to be a miserable life for you. So think about what it is that you love to do. Think about what you're passionate about. Think about the things that you want to change, and then think about, creating a business around that. Because if you are following your passions, you're going to be more motivated. You're also going to be a happier person, and you won't be going to work. You'll be just doing the things that you do, because every day is actually going to be fun for you. Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be problems to solve and so on. Not every single minute of the day will be fun, but most of it will. You will enjoy what it is that you're doing. This means that you will have more energy. This means that you will be more focused. This means that you will be more motivated. And also, it also means that you will be better at what it is that you're doing, which means you will bring more money in. And by bringing more money in, that gives you happiness in other areas. Okay? So follow your passions. Do not follow the money. Don't set up a business just because you think it's going to make money. Set up something that you love and you're passionate about, and the money will follow. Tip number 10. Now, this is a biggie, all right? This is one that people skip out on often, and it leads to an awful lot of pain. So please don't do this. You must learn the skills of being a business owner, all right? There are loads of new skills. There's loads of new things that you need to know in order to be successful, and you must learn those skills. If you don't, you're going to be doing something we call trial by fire, and your life is going to be very, very difficult, and you will delay the success of your business by sometimes years. Okay, so please don't do this. You know, you need to understand about marketing, you need to understand about finance, you need to understand about, you know, people management, you need to understand about customer journeys. You know, these are, you don't need to, you know, have an MD or an MA or whatever, a master's or whatever, you know, in it, but you need to make sure that you know how to actually run your business, and you need to make it as simple as absolutely possible. And I can't tell you the amount of people that we see who just basically go for it and hope for the best, and then really struggle with lots of different areas in their business because they don't know the basics. Now, there is good news on that one, because there's lots of stuff out there for you to be able to learn these skills. And also, we ourselves have a very comprehensive program on how to actually do that called the Fast Track. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I'll put a link in the description below. But please make sure that you learn those actual skills. Okay, it's very important that you do that, and because it's going to greatly accelerate how quickly your business becomes a success. And it also pretty much guarantees that your business will be a success, because we see people all the time who are lacking these skills and they're really struggling and their business is failing as a result of that, and we just don't want that for you. So make sure that you learn those skills. Give yourself the time to do that. Don't be in such a rush to get going. If you have a little bit of time, learn those skills, and it's going to make all the difference to your business. You will literally hit the ground running, and that is the most important thing. So tip number 10, learn the skills of being a business owner. So there you have it. That's our top 10 tips on changing from being an employee to being a business owner. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button there. We do a lot of videos, and we have a lot of information that will be able to help you make your life an awful lot easier. Now, also in the description below, you will see a recap of the top 10 tips that we have. And also, I will put in, as I promised, that link to find out more information about our program. But also what it is it gives you free training for how to get your business started. So we have a free training that will also tell you about our program, but also give you lots and lots of tips on what to actually do to start your own successful business, pretty much in 30 days or less. So do look out for that on the description below. Also, please feel free to comment, please feel free to share, and you know, anything that we can do to help you, let us know. So there you are. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care and goodbye.